What up? Another episode of EOB TV. I've got the night vision on because it feels like it's the middle of the night. It's actually 6 o'clock in the morning and there's no sunshine. So instead of turning the lights on in the car and looking like a complete idiot, I figured I'd just put the night vision on. Number one, because it's safer to drive that way. And number two, because it's the end of Brocktober. I'm getting my haunt on. On Saturday night, Brock and Kane finally going to hook it up. We're going to answer the question, is Kane the guy to take Brock's belt away? And I don't know the answer to that question. Do I think he can? Absolutely. Is this the one fight I've seen in the past 3 years that I have a hard time picking a winner? Yes. But I know Vegas is being flooded with bets on Cain Velasquez. I know that. And I know everybody you talk to, Randy Couture is picking Cain Velasquez. All these guys are picking Cain Velasquez almost like it's destiny. Like he's supposed to beat Brock Lesnar. Here's what I think. Number one, Death couldn't beat Brock Lesnar. Next to Death was Shane Carwin, couldn't beat Brock Lesnar. In fact, the only loss on his record is a knee bar by Frank Mir that I would say was mostly because he just didn't know it was coming and it was too late. A win is a win. I'm not trying to say he's unbeatable. Clearly, Shane Carwin and Frank Mir both exposed the fact that he is beatable. I think Kane can beat him. Do I think he will beat him? No, because I think in order to beat Brock Lesnar and take his belt, you're literally going to have to kill him in the ring. And while I think Kane has the power, I think most people are saying that if it doesn't end in the first 30 seconds, first round, that there's no way Brock can win because Kane's not going to get tired. I don't think Brock's going to get tired either. I think he's worked on his cardio. I think he learned a lot of lessons in the Shane Carwin fight, and I think he's going to work his damnedest to get Kane underneath him and pound him out a la Frank Mir Part 2. Next fight is Martin Kamen taking on Jake Shields, who makes his debut in the UFC. A lot of people, you're not familiar with Jake Shields. He was in Strikeforce, he was an Elite XC, he's fought all over the world, and is actually undefeated since December of 2004. Guy hasn't lost in 6 years. So this is a big, big fight for Martin Kamen to welcome Jake Shields to the welterweight division. What I see happening is obviously they're booking him to see that he can roll over Martin Kamen and go straight to GSP or Koscheck, depending on who wins on December 11th. I think that's probably what's going to happen. I was not impressed with his fight against Mayhem Miller in Strikeforce last November. I really wasn't impressed with the fight with Dan Henderson. Yeah, he was all over him, but it was just kind of a boring, drawn-out fight. And Martin Kamen is going to make him fight. It's not going to be a boring, drag-out stall fest. He's going to make him fight. Everything you saw last week with Czech Congo, take all that stuff away. It won't be anywhere near that boring. Look for Jake Shields to take the win there. And then the other big fight on the card is obviously Matt Hamill and Tito Ortiz. Tito hasn't won a fight in his last 4. He's clearly on the twilight of his career and looking to play the villain. That's why he keeps saying that deaf people have soft heads, deaf people are easy to knock out. I can walk all over Matt Hamill. Matt Hamill has 2 losses on his record, and I actually think they're 2 in the wrong direction when you look at his record. He hasn't lost to Michael Bisping by decision, which I don't think he lost, and he has 1 other loss. And then obviously he's got a win over John Jones by DQ. I would take away that Bisping loss, turn that into a win, and give John Jones the victory, call that his 2nd loss. But he took pretty much everything that John Jones had to offer. And no, he didn't weather the storm. He certainly took the brunt of the storm and didn't want any more of it. However, I don't think Tito's nearly as sharp as John Jones is these days. And I think his back problems, his health problems overall, his personal problems, all that stuff's going to start to mess with him. There was a death in his family while he was in the middle of camp, and if you learned anything from the whole Jenna Jameson let's fight on TMZ deal, that you know that stuff really messes with Tito's head. So while he's trying to mess with Matt's head, I don't think he's doing a very good job at it. And I think that Matt is going to out-wrestle him and outstrike him and walk away with the decision. In the undercard, you have Court McGee. You always have to root for Court McGee. The dude almost died and came back to win. I think that's the theme of the night. Is it's going to be zombies fighting in the UFC. Brock Lesnar almost died, came back to fight. Court McGee almost died, came back to fight. Tito Ortiz, one could argue, has been a zombie for quite some time. And of course, Patrick Cote is also going to be in the Spike undercard. I'm a big, huge fan of Patrick. Like to see him back on the winning side, so hopefully he'll walk away with a win on Saturday night. It's on pay-per-view. We're also showing it at Celebration Cinema North. You can get all the details at ESPN961.com. Catch us Friday nights at 6. It's Way of the Warrior. Sorry for the multitasking. I hope you enjoyed the Brocktoberfest night vision. Have a wonderful day. Holla!